Okay, well, George can't answer because we lost him. You can see under voice it says LC. It doesn't say George Jacobs anymore. So when he gets back, maybe someone knows what WOMO Co stands for. Maybe that's his company. I know Eddie has some businesses. So I believe the reason they are waiting here is so that we can get results from the other table. And it's always more interesting that way when we can see what happened at the other table. For example, here we see that north-south stopped in 3 hearts. You can see on the left side, to the left of the south hand, it says other table, 3 hearts by north. So let's see if we can figure out why they might have not reached game. Okay, so
there we are. You can hear me again?
yes, George, I can hear you, and we're about to figure out why they stopped in 3 hearts at the other table.
The only thing I could think of is an invitation that was not accepted, but with the south hand, you'd be accepting all invitations, I think.
Well, what happened is South opened a spade in 3rd seed, and North made that 2 heart call, which we didn't really agree with. And South raised only to 3 hearts. I think that was the mistake, and North passed. If I were South and my partner responded 2 hearts, I believe South has to go to 4 hearts. How bad can it be?
Right, you have 4 controls and 4 suits. I mean, if there are 5 suits and you have 5 controls, it would be the same.
Well, maybe he thought his partner had no aces.
Maybe. So Mr. Wold has made the same 2/1 by a passed hand here.
Well, very different though. We have a 2-diamond overcall, which I can't tell you how bad a call I think that is. Sorry, West, but it's just very dangerous with Queen third in the opponent's suit, a so-so 5-card suit on the 2 level. George, if you agree with 2 diamonds, it's going to be a long night.
I happen to agree with you, Larry. I played with one of the juniors who's playing in the East position the other day, and he opened 5 diamonds vulnerable against Knot, and I said, oh, a junior bid.
And what did he have?
He had a hand that you might bid 5 diamonds, not vulnerable. It didn't work out all that well. It could have worked out better. You notice here, Larry, they've duplicated the auction. They've stopped in 3 hearts, so the 2-diamond bid had some effect.
Well, even worse here. See, this time South had even more reason to raise to 4 hearts because he's got a singleton in the opponent's suit and values in the suits his partner rates to be long in. So if anything, the interference was even more reason for South to bid 4 hearts here. So I think when the coaches get their hands on this, they can critique the 2-diamond overcall and they can critique South's failure to go to 4 hearts.
It's probably a good idea to remind the folks that for many of these kids, it's their first time in the limelight. They're playing in front of hundreds of people, and everybody's critiquing them. But it's part of bridge. It's part of what you expect as you go further and further in the game of bridge, and you need to get used to it.
Right, and you certainly have to be able to take constructive criticism. I'm sure this has happened to you a lot, George. Someone comes up to you with a local duplicate and asks you for your opinion, and you give what you're pretty sure is the right answer, and then they start arguing with you.
More times than you could imagine. So Larry, whatever happens tonight, I want you to know that I so terribly missed you the last time. I thought David would be a great fit, but he just never said a word the whole night.
Well, maybe that was good for you. When I'm here, you hardly can get a word in. It's kind of like a husband and a wife.
Yes, dear, I know. The problem is that David literally couldn't get a word in. He couldn't sign on. We never heard his voice the whole night. Eventually, a fate worse than death occurred when Michael Rosenberg helped out, and I still have no idea what he said.
Well, last time you told me that he sounds like an Irish salesman with a potato salesman with his mouth full of sample. Is that what you said, I believe?
Yeah, something like that. Michael has a bit of a brogue.
Well, I'm still trying to recover from this morning. I've been broadcasting the European Championships, and I have all these British co-commentators. I feel like I'm broadcasting golf with Peter Allis or Ben Wright or something. So thank you for uh, getting me back in my comfort zone.
Top of the morning to you, Governor.
Okay, so here we have a result at the other table of 6 spades down 1. There's a big flaw with 6 spades in that you are off the ace king of clubs. So let's see if we can figure out what went wrong there and what might go right here.
So they did have a Blackwood auction at the other table. Once again, there was some interference. When a spade, 2 clubs by West, 3 clubs, showing spade support, 4 spades signing off. North bid again with the 3 small clubs. His partner showed 5 diamonds, which showed 3 key cards, and he jumped to 6, and it's all a mystery.
Yeah, well, I blame North. Certainly, you know, one of the cardinal rules, well, there's 2 cardinal rules of slam bidding. Don't bid a slam off 2 aces or 2 key cards, and don't bid a slam if they can take the ace king or the first 2 chicks in a suit, and North had no club control.
Is that an actual rule, Larry? I mean, would I find it in a book somewhere?
In my book, yeah.
Of course I would. All right, here it's gone a spade by South, 3 clubs, which I think is a much better bid than 2 clubs. 4 clubs, so he's jammed the auction. They're a step higher. I think that South will still sign off in 4 spades, and then we'll see what happens again.
I like 3 clubs opposite a past partner. It puts more pressure on the opponents. I'm happy with South's 4 diamonds. I mean, South's, you know, got a little something here, but they shouldn't get too carried away. 4 diamonds, 4 hearts, now 4 spades. Nobody's got a club control, and I'm pretty sure they're going to stop in 4 spades, and they're going to win 13 imps. George, are you with me that control bidding second round controls is okay, or are you one of those who insists on first round controls? Maybe
For the
you
folks
didn't
at
hear
home,
me.
4 diamonds isn't a command performance. It just says, I'm willing to cooperate. 4 hearts, the same way, I'm willing to cooperate. But somebody has to have considerable extras in order to go past 4 spades here.
Yeah, well, they would tend to be control showing. I think George is referring to something called last train, an Eric Rodwell term where you control bid when you don't really have a control because there's no other room left.
So here's a very simple formula for winning bridge. You don't overbid, and you just sit there and collect your match points. I was telling Elon the other day at the bridge game, I said, think of match points as like Halloween. You're walking around with a big basket, and you're going trick or treat to everybody. At every table you come to, you're asking them to give you match points. And most of them will give you match points. The trick is to not give match points back to them. Collect them, but don't give them back. So here, all they did was sit in their chair, and they're going to win 12 or 13 imps. Beautiful.
Well, I don't know if you were really meant match points, George, as opposed to imps, but for either form of scoring, that's always been my motto: is just avoid bad bridge and avoid bad mistakes and collect the ones your opponents give you.
So you didn't know that this was a match point team game today? I'm surprised they didn't give you that memo.
I don't know if you're joking or not.
I know, that's the problem.
George, we need you to have a sarcasm button so that, because it's about 50% of what you say is sarcastic. So I don't know how we can tell when you're being serious.
I think that's part of my gift, Larry, is that I can say things. It's like, like how the way I write. I poke fun of myself. It's certainly easy to do, and I like to beat the crowd before they can poke fun at me.
Okay, so north-south here have 12 opposite 11. No 8-card fit, so you would expect no trump. You figure they don't have enough for 3-no. We can see the other table stopped in 2-no trump. And in no trump, after the ace of spades is gone, there are 3 spade tricks, a heart for 4, 2 diamonds for 6. They can work on clubs, but it's certainly not obvious that 2-no trump should make. I wonder, George, if the juniors have Eddie playing transfer responses to 1 club, because Eddie already announced that he's playing a new system for him here. Yep, there we go. Transfer to hearts.
All righty. Well, that seems to be the new wave. Everybody seems to be doing it these days. Now you respond 1 heart with less than, or do you not respond a heart with only 2?
Yeah, I think you respond 1 heart with 3. So he bids a spade here. Yeah, I know if he bids a no trump, that shows 18 to 19. So I guess he just, well, I don't know, maybe 1 heart he can bid with 2 or 3. Oh, don't tell me. Did West really overcall 1 spade vulnerable? Oh my goodness. I don't know if that's, we don't mean to be critical, but that's just not a good idea to do that kind of thing. 4 triple 3 vulnerable. East-West were in a ton of trouble if North had doubled.
Now he could possibly bid 2 hearts here, and they might just play 2 hearts. He knows that Wold has 5, and Wold knows that he doesn't have 3.
Well, I don't know that Wold ever promised 5 hearts. 2 diamonds was apparently artificial, and maybe that 2 hearts showed 3 of them. Wold assumes to think his partner has 3 hearts, and they've reached a rather no-play game here off 2 heart tricks and barring a miracle, which isn't there, and 2 black aces at least.
For the kibitzers, this whole hand is going to hinge on one silly little thing. When they lead the jack of hearts, don't cover. And also, they better make sure they cash their club before that goes away. So not only is he overcalled a 4-card spade suit, but he's underled the ace. If I've got which hand led here? Looks like east.
Yeah, well, it's played by South. It's not a lead out of turn, George. They can't do that on BBO. Well, I am the last person in the world who would underlead an ace. I know Zia likes to do it from time to time. It's certainly not going to cost anything here. One of the problems with underleading aces is even if it's right, it's wrong because your partner won't realize you've underled an ace, and he's going to play the wrong card, playing third to the trick. So it turns out that lead gets them an extra trick because there's a ruff now. West knew not to put up. West should know. Well, West should have known not to put up the queen of hearts. Declarer can't play this way if he has the ace king of hearts.
Larry, the last time I underled an ace was in 1999 in China. We were playing in the China Cup against Europe. When we came out of the, now here's an interesting play here. If he doesn't ruff and cash the ace of clubs, it's going to go away. When we came out, it was the very last hand. I was defending a slam, and I
George,
underled.
sorry to interrupt. Sorry, wait, George, I have to interrupt. It can't go away because Declarer can't get to his hand. But go ahead with your story.
Got it. In fact, he might lose a diamond. No, the diamond will go on the spade and on the other club.
He still can't get to his hand, George. But go on with your story.
After they lose the ace of clubs. So we were declaring a slam, or we're defending a slam, and lefty had shown a strong hand, so I underled the ace of spades. Dummy had the king, jack, fourth of spades. He played low. Ralph won the queen. I won the ace. We defeated the slam by a trick. We come out, and our teammates are George Middleman, Kirk Kokish, and Fred Gittleman. And Middleman had declared that hand, and he had his head in his hands, and he's saying, I lost the match, I lost the match, and he was disconsolate. Finally, we said to him, what happened? He said, he used a vulgar word, he said, the guy underled the ace of spades. I said, oh, push.
Well, with that kind of success, I'm surprised you haven't tried it again with that kind of success. Well, the coaches are going to have to really look at that board and dig into it because they write up these deals afterwards, and there was so much wrong going on there with the defense, and they could have locked dummy and Declarer and the dummy. It should have been down 3. There was just way too much going on there, and plenty to learn from on that deal all around. The bidding, the play. We think Wold was innocent turning the dummy.
Yeah, Larry, at your level, I mean, this stuff becomes automatic. It's second nature to you. A lot of these kids are seeing positions that they don't recognize because they're not everyday bread and butter stuff, and they just haven't seen them enough to recognize it. And there's the thrill of wanting to get in there and wanting to make ultra light doubles and bids and underlead aces. It's part of being a junior, but part of being successful is harnessing that junior in you. You got to harness the junior to be successful.
Okay, George, I think that's going to go down as a famous quote. Like ask not what you can do for your country, but what your whatever, all that stuff. So harness the junior in yourself. George Jacobs, June 2017. Very nicely put, George.
Thank you, Larry. I think you should include the date too. It was June 12th. I don't think you should leave that to chance.
Okay, well, here we have an interesting auction in that a lot of players treat a response of 2 spades as weak. 1 heart 2 spades is weak, and that would make this auction stronger. Some even play it as forcing when you bid 1 spade and then 2 spades. They probably don't have that agreement. So when he did say 2 spades, not forcing, I agree with West's path. One of the things you have to do is bail out when it's a misfit. A common mistake would be for West to go to Tuna trump and jump from the fire into the frying pan. Up the other way around, George. Don't quote me. From the frying pan into the fire. Okay, a trump lead on this auction is very surprising, very dangerous, and just, I mean, I don't like leading aces, but I would lead either the king of diamonds or a heart. A trump lead from 3 to the queen when the trumps are on your right. Can you understand that, George?
I'm sorry, Larry. I was distracted for a second. What did you say?
Okay, well, that happens easily. First of all, 2 things. I would have bid 2 clubs with the West hand, not 2 diamonds. Second of all, South led a trump from three to the queen. That's that's not good.
Well, I thought the Trump lead was ill-advised, to tell you the truth. Leading away from Queen third in what might have been a very dangerous and awkward situation. As it is, they could have lost three Trump tricks. Now they'll be held to only losing two Trump tricks, the ace and the queen.
Yeah, the auction that calls for a trump lead. Would I ever lead from three trumps to the queen? Very rare, but on an auction where the declarer has ended up in his second suit, for example, maybe declarer opens a spade and it goes a no trump by the dummy, and now declarer gets two hearts, and they end up in hearts. I might lead a heart from three to the queen to cut down on the roughs. But here, when declarer's got the long spades and dummy short and trumps, it makes no sense. And again, George, I'm sorry, I don't want to be hard on these juniors. I really don't. But I'm gonna say it when there's a pretty bad mistake. It,
Larry, people like you and me say what's the truth. We just say it how it is, and the juniors will appreciate it as well as the audience will appreciate it, and the coaches will appreciate it if we point out areas where there's weaknesses and that they can do things better, and they should learn from these type of mistakes.
right.
By the
It's
way,
very different. Oh, go ahead, George.
I was going to say, by the way, Eddie Wold underlet an ace on this hand, but that was clearly the right thing to do. He's looking at the dummy. He can see diamonds there. He's trying to get his partner to win the doubled and queen, or to win the queen. Turns out his partner had the king queen, so it didn't matter. But so we have a right time and a wrong time to underlead an ace.
Yeah, in the middle of the deal, a big difference. Certainly in the middle of the deal, underleading an ace is very often a proper defensive play.
And even this cashing ace of clubs, to me, is a bit of a panic move. You could even out with a heart, and you might be entitled to two club tricks instead of one. So you have to keep looking, you have to keep counting, look at every suit, see what's going on around the table, let your partner help you, let the declarer help you. Remember, nobody knows what your problem is, and you don't know what their problem is. And sometimes they create an artificial problem for you, and you think that something's going to go bad, and you panic. So one thing I like about the robots on VBO is that they never panic. They always have a count on the hand. They know what's going on, and they like to job you. What do we have here, Larry?
Well, we should have a three no trump anytime you see 14 opposite 14 and no 8-card major and no exceptionally long running suits. You would expect the auction to somehow find its way into three no trump. Everything stopped. So the only question is there any problem in three no trump with entries 5, 6, 7? Looks pretty remote to beat three no trump on any layout. Certainly the way the cards lie, three no trump is very easy, so this doesn't look too interesting.
Yeah, they made 5 at the other table. I predict probably 5 here as well. I think this will be a push. There's not many tricks they could get. Spade and a heart, what else?
Well, I would think declarer is going to work on diamonds. He's going to knock out the king of diamonds and set up 4 diamonds, 5 clubs for 9, maybe a heart for 10 and a spade for 11 and less. Yeah, so it'll make 10 or 11 tricks. Here in the bidding, I want to mention, notice that West bid his diamonds before the hearts, and I'm fine with that when he has a good strong hand like this and he knows he's going to be bidding again. He knows it's not a part score deal. So I agree with showing that good 5-card diamond suit. Whereas if West had a weak hand, 9 points, 8 points, then I would have skipped the diamonds and gotten that major in right away in the modern style.
That's why they have that on the convention card. It says frequently bypass 1 diamond. So to make sure the folks know what you're talking about, if you have a good hand, bid your suits in the proper order. Bid them in the longest suit first and in the right order. If you have a hand where you might only take 1 bid or 2 at the most, you might bypass 5 or even 6 diamonds to bid hearts.
So there's going to be nothing to the play here. So one other thing about the bidding, George, if you were West, a club and a diamond, which we agree with, and partner bid a spade, what do you think about 3-no trump instead of going through fourth suit?
I'm the one that has queen 9-8 fourth. I'm fine with that. Some people have an agreement that jumping to 3-no trump shows a full no trump opener. With 14 and a great 5-card suit, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, the only harm in 3-no, I mean, you're pretty sure no trump will be okay. It's just the only question is if you might miss a slam, club, a diamond, a spade. Yeah, it's possible there's a slam, so going through fourth suit is okay with me.
By the way, had Declare, and I played with Elon a lot. He's a very adequate declarer. But had he won the first heart and continued hearts, I believe they never would have lost the spade trick. I don't know that for sure, but I think there would have only been 2 losers then. I could be wrong.
Well, if he won the heart and continues hearts, wouldn't North Eddie Wold switch to a spade at that point? I don't think he would have had much choice to play anything else.
You're probably right. I was trying to figure out a way where they would only lose. Now look what he's done to himself. Unfortunately, he set up spades for them. He probably has enough tricks without it, but
well, he's cost himself a trick maybe. But George, I want to make you be right. George, let's see if I can make you be right. If he returns a heart and they shift to a spade to the king, perhaps he has 11 tricks without losing a diamond trick. He would then have 3 heart tricks, 2 spades for 5, 5 clubs for 10, and a diamond for 11. So whether or not you meant it the right way, no, I'm not going to give you credit, George, because you said he wouldn't lose a spade trick, but returning hearts would produce 11 tricks, I believe.
Yeah, now Eddie did something a little unusual. He didn't win the ace of hearts at trick 1. A lot of people would win the ace of hearts and then figure out what to do. He just ducked it and didn't continue hearts as a result.
Okay, so Declarer ends up having the rest anyway. What he did to himself with the spade suit isn't going to cost. So it's 10 tricks, 1
You also need to teach them where the claim button is. So I'm going to tell you a great story that occurred the other night playing in a duplicate game with the Declarer East, Elon. I made a mechanical error. I had about an 8 count with 5 hearts. He opened a no trump, and I transferred. Unluckily, when I transferred, I bid 2 hearts. A lot of chatter at the table, most of which was me, but I bid 2 hearts transfer. And he alerted to the transfer, and then he bid 2 spades. And now I still don't realize I bid my own suit. So I bid 2 no trump, and the next thing I heard was 4 spades. Well, I didn't think that could be right, but what am I going to do? I have an 8 count with 5 hearts. So I passed, and he made it.
Lucky guy. You didn't think it was kickback, huh?
No, I was pretty sure it wasn't.
You couldn't press the undo button.
To my credit and to everybody, you should learn this. If you make a mistake, eat it. Don't bring everybody's attention to it. Don't go, oh, I didn't mean to. Oh, wait. A lot of people give away their hands, and you still have a chance to recover from an error if you don't call attention to it. So sometimes you just got to let it go.
George, you say that as if you've had a lot of experience in that position.
Well, I've been Claude's partner for many years, Larry, so I've seen it all.
Okay, so here, some of us might have opened the East hand, but I'm okay with a pass, although I would open the East hand. 1 spade in third seat is fine. In third seat, you can open light, and West is worth it. The 2 heart overcall, I'm fine with. That's a good 5-card suit. Contrast that to and a good hand. Contrast that to the overcall we saw on board 1. 3 hearts, showing a good spade raise. And now he should respect the sign-off, I suppose. His partner opened in third seat. Three little hearts as a warning sign. He's got nothing special. I mean, he's got a nice hand, but I think he's got to let his partner out at this point.
And even though he's on view graph in front of all of us, oh, I'm disappointed. He did bid, and I thought he would not. However, there's going to be some pieces. Now, there's no good news, even with the Queen Jack of Spades, even if they pick it up.
Well, now here's the thing about leading aces. I mean, I would just think Wold is going to lead. I don't see him leading his aces. It just seems like he's lead a diamond or maybe a sneaky Jack of Spades.
For those that don't know, the lead of the Jack of Spades generally denotes a singleton, and you really put a lot of pressure on the declarer to determine whether or not you have the Queen Jack doubleton. There's the principle of restricted choice, and there's also how the hand lays out. Sometimes you just can't afford for the trump suit to be 4-1, and you play for the drop anyway.
Right, and you don't lead the Queen of Spades because that would be a pretty bad lead to lead a singleton queen. So you kind of hide it by leading the Jack, which could be a singleton or Queen Jack doubleton. So notice Eddie's following normal procedure here. I mean, granted, this is a sample of one hand, but I'm with him. Don't start leading or under leading aces. Just lead normally, and good things can happen to you as here. Well, declarer will have to be very clever to go down only one. There's lots of work to do here, including the guess in the spade suit.
And the kibitzer should note that North had no reason to run up and cash the ace of clubs. Sometimes it gets rough, and you might give away the contract, but it's not going to go anywhere. At some point, if East-West has a club, he has to lead it, and North will still get his ace of clubs always. Now he should probably lead another heart and try and do some rough sluffing. If he can get I think he should lead a heart here. Maybe sometimes partner might have the 10 of spades. Nah, it wouldn't help. You would have it natural anyway.
Well, in a funny way, he almost wants to leave declarer with a chance to go get restricted choice wrong. That's a very good point you made, though, George. Almost every new or beginner-ish player would have banged down that ace of clubs, and it's just a bad habit. It's not going anywhere.
By the way, Larry, I think on the East hand, I would have opened it, but I don't think I would open it one. I think I would preempt with that hand.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm not stodgy, but there's so many flaws. 3-3 in the majors, the king in the majors, only a 6-card suit. Just too many flaws for me.
I understand. I think it's flawed to open at the one level. You've got a 2-club rebid, but it's so soft. I just don't like it. Stiff king,
well,
maybe,
you would get votes.
Queens.
George, you would get votes for all three actions: pass, 1 club, and 3 clubs, and there's no right or wrong.
How many votes would I get, Larry?
Well, I think you would be in the minority, but that would be the first time ever.
Well, he was going to go down only one until he made a mechanical error. Apparently, this is a tough game. They didn't allow him an undo. What do you got here, Larry?
No. He George, he was down 2. He couldn't do anything. The good club got roughed and over roughed. He had to lose a diamond at the end, the way things went. Okay, what have we here? Well, we have 4 diamonds making in the other room. That seems like an abrupt stop. But I don't see 5 diamonds. You have to lose 2 heart tricks. Well, I guess if you're in 5 diamonds, you'll make it with the very favorable club layout. I've been in worse contracts than 3 no trump also, which is also, is that a make? Probably.
Did I hear you say if you're in 5 diamonds, you'll make it? Then you're forced to take the club finesse to shag a heart. Is that it?
Yeah, to shag a heart. Is that a Midwestern term?
Weren't you around in the 60s, Larry? That's totally normal talk for the 60s. Aren't we still in it?
Well, I wasn't playing bridge in the 60s. Is that a bridge shake? Well, you could say shake or throw or discard. So what's going on here?
Yeah.
Two diamonds multi, two spades pass
Yeah,
are correct.
East-West isn't even in the auction yet.
Well, East should overcall three diamonds. And then West won't even know which major that South has. Like if West wants to bid 3-0 because he has spades stopped, he doesn't even know which suit South has.
Yeah, at the other table, they did open two spades and on pass, three diamonds, and then three spades. It's just competitive auction to get the four. Three spades is not a terrible contract. You lose 4, 5 tricks only, 6 tricks, and you're vulnerable. So it's not that good after all.
Well, that's with the queen of spades, right? Well, I mean, I don't see what East could be thinking about here. I don't know that there's an alternative to three diamonds, three diamond overcall. What's tough when you're playing against multi, if you're not used to it, you have to know what the bids mean. Like, what does double mean here? What does three of a major mean here? All experienced players who are going to play in competitions where multi is allowed, they have to be prepared for this.
He may think that his hand is too strong for a simple three diamond overcall. He would be wrong, of course, but he did have to think it over.
Now, West could be considering 3-0 trump, a bit of an overbid, but boy, if the opponent suited spades, think of this. Picture your partner with ace, king, queen, sixth of diamonds. You can almost see 9 tricks, and your partner could have something else. So 3 spades here is kind of an interesting bid. Is that telling or asking? That's the age-old question.
Yes. Now, what has happened here is that his 3 spade bid, which is either telling or asking or a combination, allowed Wold to double, which now you're probably getting a spade lead anyway, but now this should work out easily because he's got the stiff ace. He won't have any choice of what to play, and then the diamond is with North. He won't be able to get the South. They're going to make 3-0 trump with a breeze.
Yeah, it's a very, very friendly lie of the opposing cards. So ideally, Declarer kind of wants to play diamonds from dummy, but from the lead directing double, he suspects that the spades are as they are, so he kind of knows they're blocked. If he knows spades are 6-3 this way, he can, even if South were to get in and play the 10 of spades, Declarer doesn't have to guess because of the lead directing double. He knows where the king of spades is.
This would be a practice for us if he took it, so might be able to take it later, but right now all you want to do is go after the diamonds.
The only question is, do you lead the 10 or the 8? The 10 caters to a stiff 9 in South. Well, I think the 8's probably the right play. It doesn't matter on this layout, though.
Well, South has to have some points, so I think you play him for one of the diamond honors. You lead the 8, maybe he's got a stiff honor. Might all be irrelevant anyway if they're 3-1. North can duck twice.
Yeah, there's only one side entry to the South hand, so if you lead to the ace and an honor falls, you're in danger with 3-1 that they're going to hold up. He's going to play another diamond now, and he needs them to be 2-2.
He doesn't care who has the diamond honor now. Although if they were 3-1, that could have been a disaster because they might be able to duck it.
Yeah, I kind of said that. So now he's just a question of, he's got his contract when he runs all the diamonds. He's not going to take a club finesse. Well, can he take the club finesse and safety? 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, he has 9. He's going to have 9 tricks in anyway. So if he wants to, he can win this, run the diamonds. He'll have 9 tricks, and then he can judge what he wants to do at the end. He can actually take all the rest of the tricks.
Yeah, in imps, once you've assured the contract, now you can play, but you cannot take the club finesse for your 10th trick. You have to reject it to make 9 tricks.
Now,
by the way,
I'm
Larry,
going to
there's
say
something I like to do here. When you're running a suit, do you know the trick to running a long suit, Larry?
yeah, well, maybe you do the same thing I do. I run them from the top, but I save the lowest one because that confuses people. And then I play the lower one and then play a higher one. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, yes. You run the suit. You keep like the second or third highest one, and as you keep running the suit, you get down to the deuce, and it looks like that's the last diamond. And then there's another diamond left, and the people they actually go into a funk because they thought you were done running them. They thought they were done having to discard, and they find another one, and all of a sudden they've lost track. And they try and reconstruct what their partner's discards were, and they don't always remember.
Yeah, George, I actually wrote about that somewhere. That is the way I run the suit. I do them in a funny order. I'm a very mean declarer.
It's frightening how much alike we are, Larry. I'm not sure that this is good for bridge.
Oh, my goodness. George, one thing I want to prevent, I know I told a lot of my students that I'm going to be doing this broadcast, so they're listening. I've said this 1,000 times, but it always happens, okay? Should East have decided to finesse and made 6 and plus 690, which is a great result, please don't come to me and ask me how should we have bid it. But that happens all the time, okay? You don't want to be in 6, no trump on this deal. Okay, so that was a very fortunate result for East West and a swing to them, which puts them in the lead in this practice match.
I'm delighted to see this actually. In most of the previous matches, through good luck or nervousness or fine play by the expert pair and team has run away with the match. And I am absolutely delighted to see that this match is close and that it's not being overwhelmed by the expert. Eddie hasn't done anything wrong. He's playing fine. Nobody's done anything terrible, but it's kind of cool to see the East-West pair at this table performing so well and their North-South counterparts at the other.
So I like opening the bidding with ace, king, ace, and not vulnerable. What the heck? One no trump overcall. I'm okay with that. The clubs are well positioned.
Larry, what if you were 4-3-3 with ace, king, ace?
Yeah, not as happy about it, but still probably would. Though this ace, king, ace with the ace, king in a 4-card suit, I'm happy with. So here we have West using Stamen, which almost everyone these days plays that after a one no trump overcall, you pretend it was a one no trump opening. So system on, and I always recommend with 5-4 in the majors to start with Stamen. This particular sequence would tend to be 5 cards and spades off balanced, and I mean not balanced, because if West were balanced with 5 spades, he could transfer and then bid 2 no trump. So this tends to show 5 spades, a singleton somewhere, an invitational.
You like this as invitational rather than some form of garbage, then?
Well, 2 hearts would be garbage. 1 no, 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts for me is the garbage passer, correct? But 2 spades is different. two spades because you can't pass or correct that. So by definition, for me, that's five spades invitational, usually 5-4.
Would you bid garbage with five spades and four hearts? Is that something you would allow?
Yeah, if I had, say, five spades jack and four hearts queen jack, I might use Stamen, and then over two diamonds, I would have to bid two hearts pass or correct because for me, one note, two clubs, two diamonds, two spades is invitational. But you just have to agree with your partner. What game might be making here, but it certainly needs a lot of racing luck. It's not a game you would necessarily need to be in. At the other table, three spades went down one. That sounds to me as if it wasn't played very well because you should be able to make at least three spades here. You have, I mean, I like to count losers. Yeah, off the top,
I'm
you're
betting
up
on
two hearts and
Declare
the ace
here.
of diamonds. Maybe, maybe a trick in the wash.
They were in three spades at the other table. You suppose maybe because they were a trick higher?
Yeah, but you shouldn't go down in three spades. Well, it looks like Declarer made one of the most basic mistakes of all, which is he drew trump instead of playing hearts first and trying to trump hearts in dummy. I have an ongoing rule with some of my students who should know better that if they ever draw trump and then end up with losing cards in their hand that they could have trumped in the dummy, had they not drawn trump, they have to apologize or something worse because it just hurts me when that
They
happens.
apologize
Draw
to
trump.
do they apologize to the other people or to the cards in the dummy? I'm sorry I didn't use you more properly.
Well, George, maybe I can come up with a better penalty for that. But I mean, kind of the same things happened here. I mean, you just when you have things you have to trump and dummy, don't draw trump. My voice gets frustrated when I say it. I don't know if that helps.
Oh no, I'm exactly with you, Larry. This is not how you're supposed to do it. This is such an easy play. In fact, you and I should write a book on trump management. When to draw trump, when not to draw it, how to use your trump. Sometimes you have trumps that you use multiple ways during the hand. You're roughing with them. You're coming back and forth to get your transportation. You're using as a threat. You're throwing people in before you've drawn the last trump. Maybe you want to pull some suit and try and trump the third or fourth round in dummy. There's so many ways to use trump.
George, I've written that book.
I know, Larry. I helped you.
Oh, it's called Larry Teach. Can I get in a plug? Larry Teaches Declare or Play at Suit Contracts, and I think you just listed each chapter. So thank you for the plug. All right. So North-South Open, all balanced hands, one club, I believe, which is why you see a one club opening, not one diamond here. I believe they're playing one diamond shows an unbalanced hand.
It almost has to be that way, and then they're playing transfers with that. So probably South will respond three clubs or something like that.
In Declarer's defense on the previous deal, he was in only two spades, so maybe he was playing safe for his contract.
I don't think he'll get such an easy pass from his coaches during the review here. I think they will chastise him for not making more.
Well, this auction came up a little bit tough on West. He never really got to show that he had anything, but since he had a misfit for his partner, he took the low road, which probably was successful because East-West don't really want to be playing the hand any higher than this. And let's see, in three clubs, Declare can hold his club losers to one. If he leads a club from the dummy, from the south hand, he can hold it to one loser, but they do have roughs, potential heart roughs.
Well, that lead will help immensely in holding his club losers to one.
Yes, so Wold is going to return a club, and West is going to play a singleton heart, and East has an unfortunate problem in that if he takes his ace of hearts and gives his partner a rough, it's at the expense of a natural heart trick.
But it's good for partnership bridge because you're saying to the partner, I know I could have had two heart tricks, but I'm going to just play you give you a rough because you asked for it. So during the hand, it makes the partner feel better. Now, what heart did he lead back here, Larry? What does he want back? Does he know?
Well, it should be a suit preference play, and he played a...
So he led the highest heart back and got the ace of diamonds in return. To me, that's like running through a third base coaching stop sign.
Unless they play upside down carding. I know Mextruth and Rod will play upside down suit preference.
I know that he probably couldn't lead a spade looking at the king jack third and dummy anyway.
Okay, well, what they've ended up doing here, though, is declare no longer has to guess the queen of spades. So if he had returned knew somehow to return a lower diamond, they wouldn't have set up the diamonds like this.
That's what I try and also explain to people. They don't know your problem. They don't know where the king of diamonds is, for instance. So you can lead back a low diamond, and sometimes people will believe you that you don't have the high diamond, and they'll rough or do something foolish with it.
Okay, well here Sal should overcall one heart. He could make a takeout double, but the problem with double is when you then hear partner answer your double, and then if you want to bid hearts, you've shown more like 18-ish. This hand's just not quite good enough, so I would overcall one heart. North would then bid a spade, and I think north-south should easily reach four spades. We can see the other table stopped in three spades, so big opportunity here for a swing. I certainly would not have overcalled one no trump with no club stopper. But it's going to work out. North's going to transfer to spades, and they're going to reach four spades.
I totally understand it. You know, many people that open a club don't have clubs. Doesn't mean that you aren't occasionally dealt an actual club suit, like in this case. But look at the dummy he caught, ace 10, 9, 4. So he had a club stopper all along, maybe two of them.
You know, I've overcalled one no trump without a stopper in their clubs if I'm stuck. Like maybe I'm, 3-4, 3-3 with 16, 17 points. But I see no reason to distort when you have a good five-card major and two little clubs. That's got to be a losing proposition long run. I'm sure the coaches will not approve of the one no overcall. Sure, he got away with it here. He's going to now convert to four spades. Now, why did they miss this game at the other table? Are you going to analyze it for me, George? Because certainly with 26 high card points and an 8-card spade fit, they should be there.
I think they misjudged what two spades meant. I think that's what the problem is. By the way, I'm playing in the team trials once against Jimmy Kane and Mark Lair. And Jimmy opens a diamond, and it goes pass to me. And I have a moderate hand with a singleton 10 of diamonds. So I decide that I'll bid a no trump. And it goes past 3 no trump by Ralph. So when the dummy comes down, Ralph has king jack 9, fourth of diamonds and an opening hand. And I couldn't restrain myself. I got a little excited about my diamond stopper.
Did one no trump ask for a diamond stopper? Was that the convention you were playing?
Yeah, absolutely. So you bid a no trump, and you say, partner, if you have a diamond stopper, bid game.
All right. Well, George, since your story didn't cover what happened at the other table, what did happen at the other table was A one heart overcall, club a heart overcall, north set a spade. Wow, you would think Sal's just going to drive the game now, but he let north off the hook. This is kind of what
Oh, I
happened.
was looking at the wrong hand, Larry. I see it now. Club of hearts, three clubs. So at our table, north-south have gotten to a very normal four-spade game without any sweat at all. I believe that Larry's right that they would have gotten there anyway, but the no trump overcall made it easy. It seems they could have and should have gotten to the game at the other table as well.
I don't know if this is exactly the best line of play, but he's going to eventually need to take a diamond finesse here. Let's see. What has he done?
Well, he's taking it through the opening bidder, so I don't think it'll be any shock. Although I suppose he could take a heart finesse just as well.
Okay, George, this is a point we've made before, and I think we have to make it again because the juniors, they quite often do listen to this tape afterwards. And so far, I don't know about you, George, but I haven't gotten any hate mail from any of them. But this is a point we make often. They're playing too quickly. And I know that's like the thing to do, but it's not the thing to do if you want to get good at this game. And way too many of these situations we're seeing require more thought than they're taking. So they have to slow down.
Agreed, Larry. You have mentioned this a number of times before, and that message has to get through. There's no rush. You don't want to play slowly like Eric Rodwell, but you do want to play in tempo, and tempo means taking your time just as much as it means playing quickly. You want to think your hands through and decide what your best line is and be able to shift gears if something goes wrong.
George, I can't help but hearing in the background. You have a dog, so is that how we know when to rough? Is he trying to tell us?
Oh, bow wow, Larry. I bow to your judgment there. That was funny. That was Stella you heard. She's a part Basset Hound and part Shar Pei.
Oh my goodness! As you were discussing, we just saw another terrible, fast mistake. Guys, slow down, slow down. He threw away a trick. He could have drawn trump. He could have trumped a hardened dummy and drawn trump. Instead, he had his diamond roughed. Guys, if you're listening, slow down, slow down. Unless maybe they have a hot date after the game. I don't know.
You know what they're going to do after the game? They can't wait to go and hear a review of what we had to say about them.
Okay, well, South has apologized to the table. Yeah, you could have had one more. All right, strong no trump. Is Northworth's an invite? Maybe. I like. Here's what I like about the 8 points. He's got no jacks. Jacks are overvalued a little. He's got a nice 10 with the king. He's got 2 9s. I think without the 2 9s and the 10, I would not invite. I think Sal's going to go as far as 15 to 17s go. He's got a pretty good one, and they'll reach a very bad game. On a diamond lead, you would need to take 4 tricks in each major. And on the lie of the cards, you actually can. These major suit holdings are fascinating, both of them. See, in spades, you can take 4 tricks. After the ace-king, the 10 falls, and you can finesse the 9. That's restricted choice. And in the heart suit, if you play a heart to the king and then lead the 10 of hearts, you can actually take 4 heart tricks, again with restricted choice. If the 10 is covered with the queen and ace and the 9 falls, you then finesse against the 8. So I'm sure I said that too fast, but if anyone wants to go back and study those major suits, you can take 4 tricks in each.
Here's another way, Larry, because you don't want to block the heart suit by having the 10 still be there. So you could cash the ace, dropping the 10 on it, then play a heart to the king, and then lead that deuce. Take your finesse that way. That's not any sense at all. Disregard that one. I forgot about the queen being.
Yeah, it was a nice thought, but it wouldn't work because your seven's not strong enough. Well, so now the declarer knows, and I don't know that I would have led a diamond because I don't like leading from ace jack 10 fourth. It turns out the diamonds are blocked. But from declarer's point of view, he's got to take 4 tricks in each major, and oh, he's playing too fast again. Guys, you got to slow down. You have to think this through. See, now he's not going to have the entries to do the hearts. He had to do the hearts first. Heart to the king, 10 of hearts, and then he can, if he shifts to hearts now, he's got to play the heart now. Heart to the king, 10 of hearts, while he still has the entries to get back and forth. Now, we can say he can lead the jack of clubs, but he doesn't
know that.
Sorry. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't know that he can play clubs. He's got to assume, he doesn't know diamonds are blocked. That's really a miracle that they're blocked. He's expecting that if he loses the lead, he's down. So he's got to try to take 8 major suit tricks. Now, restricted choice, I'll put up a link to that, the way it goes is when he played the ace king of spades and the 10 fell, there's several ways to explain it, but the restricted choice terminology means East played the 10 because his choice was restricted. If he had the jack, he might have played the jack. But it's really just a math thing. The odds favor finessing. Although the fact that the guy led a diamond, he's got at least 4 diamonds. That affects the odds a little bit.
Speaking of famous blocked suits, so in the 2004 Spin Gold, where we had a massive lead against Nickel in the semifinals, they brought out all the guns in the fourth quarter, and we lost this massive lead. And the final indignity was the last hand, Wolf and Hammond got to a 3-note trump with the queen and 1 spade opposite 2 small. And I had ace, king, jack, 10 of spades, and Ralph had 5 to the 9, and we couldn't get them all. And it was disgusting.
Apparently, it's pretty funny. They can't hear us, but they can see what I type. So I think the declarer saw me put the link up to restricted choice, and he wrote LOL. So now he's lost an entry. If he plays king of hearts, 10 of hearts, he won't be able to get back to dummy. If he leads the 10 of hearts from dummy, he can still do it. Now he knows West had 4 spades and long diamonds, so he should play East for the hearts.
So here's a countermeasure to that, Larry. If he leads the 10 of hearts now, and it goes, whatever it goes, let's say it goes queen ace, he should drop the 9 of hearts. Now when he leads the heart back to the dummy, who gives him an option to play for the idiot coup?
George, you see things that I don't know that I would see.
It's sort of a Grosvenor to play the 9 of hearts here. Oh, well, he didn't lead the 10 of hearts anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, so this was a subtle error in declarer play. Now, we criticized some things earlier that were just blatant mistakes. Oh boy, cover an honor with an honor, cover an honor with an honor. I guess so East let declarer off the hook here. Okay, coaches, you're going to have to look at the way this was played and defended. It's I just got chastised, well, because I sent my restricted choice link to the whole table and the players saw it. But I realized I have to send it to kibitzers. I'm used to doing normal view graph where the players obviously can't see. So my apologies for affecting the match.
In your defense, Larry, unusual thing, and who would have thought about it? What do we have here with our 12 diamonds and 12 minors?
Well, George, this is an exciting deal, but I do always tell my students, like when I teach a lesson, wouldn't it be nice if they whispered the topic in your ear when you play bridge? So I just whispered in Declarer's ear, restricted choice. I reminded him of the topic.
That happens. All right, look at the club position. You've got a double finesse in clubs that actually would work.
Yeah,
This is
so what does
something that you
North
might
bid
see
here?
in
2-no for the
with the
minors,
Italians.
3-no for the minors?
I would have bid 3-no, yes. 1-no, 3-no, couldn't be anything else. I would jam this auction.
I
guess
agree
he's
with you,
going
George.
low.
I'd rather not be vol against not, but
Your suits are awfully good, and I realize it's vol versus not, but you could easily come up with a game here. And I don't think saying two-suiter undiscussed is really meaningful. I think everybody in the world would play this with the minors. All your other two-suiters are covered. Larry, what do you think about double for four-card major and longer minor?
I get asked that a lot, George, what I like to play over 1-no trump, and I'm told now there are more than 100 systems, and most of them are okay. So anything you and your partner have thoroughly discussed and discussed the follow-ups to, I'm fine with.
Yeah, I like to play Cohen myself. So here's a little pushing, but I think it's effective.
Yeah, I don't want to criticize Eddie, but I think 4 diamonds might have been enough. His partner could beat 2-1, but all right. So let's see here. Declarer
Absolutely
should
makeable.
probably he
Ace
should probably
king and
trump
ruff
a
a
club
club
in his
with
hand.
the ace. How about ace king, ruff a club with the ace, and push the jack of diamonds?
Well, I think he could just do ace king of clubs and play a club, and East is going to show out. So I don't see any reason to trump with the ace. He'll just trump with the jack.
Oh,
So
sure,
he'll
you
end
can
up
see the
making this.
hands. I was doing it without seeing the hands, Larry.
But you see the hands.
Yeah, but I thought it would be cheating to look at them.
Okay, well, let's look at them since we're trying to get the players to look at them. And I think he's going to trump this and play the ace king of clubs. Is that clear to do? What if clubs are 4-1? Well, he'll go down. What about drawing trump instead? I
Yeah, but it's
think he's.
possible, even if he loses a club, that he can pick it up back later when the diamonds split out. There is no other play on this hand. I mean, I suppose he could take the double club hook, but you'd have to get to your hand twice. How are you going to do that?
Well, he could. I mean, he suspects the queen of diamonds was with the no trumper, but since diamonds can be 4-1, now that would set him also. Off the top of my head, ace king of clubs is the right play, but I'd have to think about it a while. I'm glad to see he is thinking.
I can't see any other way to go about it, though. What would you do other than that?
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. There's nothing better.
I'm a simple soul. Nice play of the queen of clubs. Let him think. Of course, he's going to see who shows out on the next one. Won't matter.
George, I disagree with one thing you said. You are anything but a simple soul.
Oh, I suppose there's some truth to that, Larry.
All right, well, I don't know if the queen of clubs is throwing him off, but what else can he do but play another club now? And when he shows out, he'll trump with the jack. He'll lay down the ace of diamonds. He'll cross the dummy. He'll play the king of diamonds, and he'll claim, and they're going to win 10 imps.
Well, there actually is something else he can do. He could play a diamond to the ace, jack of diamonds, with it either duck or hold, ruff something to dummy, draw trump, and then give up a club.
Well, but that risks losing to the queen of diamonds. I once saw that diamond finesse lose, so I don't think he wants to lose a diamond and a club.
Hey, I didn't say I would do it. I was just looking for the alternative. I'm
Okay,
surprised
so
that
this
East
is
has
going to,
gotten rough with the 9 of diamonds.
so this will soon be over. He should cross to dummy with a spade rough. Play the king of diamonds and hope they're not 4-1. They don't rate to be. So I think if Eddie had just invited, South would have gone. I mean, South had the valuable ace jack of diamonds and the jack of clubs. So I would have rather have seen North invite with 4 diamonds and South go on.
Larry, I'm going to disagree violently with you. I don't think South would have gone. I can't even imagine going with that hand. Because
If his
you usually
partner,
expect 5-5 or 6-5. You don't expect that pure a hand.
George, you're missing what I said. I'm saying if over 3 diamonds, North had said 4 diamonds. If North on his own forced to the 4 level, opposite a 0 count.
All right, maybe. I'll give you that. All right, I like 3 clubs here, even with an extra king on the side.
I violently agree with you. I violently disagree with South's pass. South, in support of spades, you have more than enough to say 3 spades. You have 4 beautiful trump, singleton in their suit. That South hand in support of spades is well worth 3 spades. No question about it. Now South's kind of handcuffed himself. I don't like West pass. West, you're not going to buy it in 3 clubs, so raise the clubs, make it harder. Raise to 4 clubs at least. Now South has a 3.5 spade bid. All right, well, it's not the end of the world. 4 spades, you would expect down 1. East-West can make 4 clubs. What happened at the other table? All the way to 6 clubs doubled. Maybe a phantom sacrifice. Okay, well, at the other table, East made one of the cardinal errors in bridge, preempt and then bid again. What happened was North opened a spade, East bid 3 clubs, South said 4 spades. Well, I think there was something between 4 spades at the other table and pass at this table. All right, so South said 4 spades, which was a lot. West bid 5 clubs, reasonably. North went on to 5 spades, and East, who preempted, then bid again. One of the cardinal rules: bid 6 clubs, phantom sacrifice.
I like Wold's double here, even though he only has 3 hearts and sort of a minimum opener. He's the one that's short in clubs. They're both short in clubs, but he doesn't know that. So his partner could have a penalty pass. He could have 5 hearts. There's a lot of things that the partner could have. I like the reopening double here, and it got him to the vulnerable game.
So Eddie's got a real chance here in 4 spades with that lead. What he's going to try to do is strip the hand. He's going to draw trump. He's going to cash the diamonds, and he's going to exit in clubs. And the way the opposing hearts are sitting, the defenders can and should be able to cash 3 heart tricks. But on many layouts, he'd make the contract because when he exits with that club, the defense will be unable to cash 3 heart tricks. There's like a doubleton honor somewhere.
Or if somebody had the ace queen doubleton, and there's a lot of layouts where, or a singleton queen or king.
Right, singleton honor, doubleton honor, or they block up the suit somehow. So here, East-West each have to keep all 3 of their hearts, and they should. There's nothing else to keep. If East or West throw a heart, that'll make it a little tougher on them, although they can survive if East throws a heart. but no reason to throw hearts. They should both be throwing clubs here.
So East West could lose a bunch of imps here, but they did the best they could do at this table.
Well, now East, the question is, how does East know to play a heart? Remember, his partner never raised clubs, so he doesn't know that Declara started with a singleton and clubs. In fact, it's hard to believe Declara started with a singleton and clubs.
What's your source of 4 tricks if he doesn't lay the heart? What else could there possibly be to get tricks?
Well, let's see. He doesn't know who has the 4th diamond either, does he? So, okay. Well done by East West here. So that makes it a very close match. 4 imps.
Yeah, very close. Very exciting. This hand seems like a loss to North-South, but they actually gained a bunch of imps, 12 imps. But at the table, they don't know that. So they might be down about this, and that's why you can't let the previous hand affect the next hand. You never know.
Well, actually, George, I think North-South. Wait, who won the 12 imps here? 6 clubs doubled. It was by North-South's teammates, so they lost a bunch of imps, didn't they?
I don't know how to read this. This form of scoring is all different to me.
This is the first time you've seen imps.
Yeah, remember I was talking, you have a basket and you go around collecting match points. What is this imps thing anyway?
Yeah, so the Wold team lost 12 imps on that board because the North-South pair at the other table, instead of being minus 100, they collected 500. All right, so here we have 4 hearts by South at the other table making. That's certainly a great result for North-South. They're off ace, king of diamonds, and the ace of spades, and they must have had a winning heart finesse, a winning club finesse, and the diamond. The cards are incredibly friendly for North-South. I don't see North-South reaching a game here, so the East-West pair team, let's see, they're called USBF Juniors, are going to take the lead against Eddie and company. So Tuna Trump was some form of Laban, but West passed it. This seems strange. I mean, it looks to me like Tuna Trump was natural from East's hand, and it looks to me like Tuna Trump was natural from West's pass. If Tuna Trump was Laban, West would have been 3 clubs. So I'm a little confused.
That's all right. Down 3 is Goodridge here.
I think West's takeout double was on the aggressive side, facing a fast pass partner. I can live with it. I don't know.
It was a junior double. It's right in their wheelhouse. It's fine. Aggressive, yes, totally, but it's acceptable. Got a couple 10s to go with his tricks.
Okay, well, we're getting near the end here. There's going to be one more board. We definitely have an exciting match because the USBF juniors, so there are 7 of them, but the 4 juniors are taking the lead against the 3 juniors here. It's been interesting. I hope it's been instructive and that the players will learn a lot from this. We did see some good things, and there are so many people to thank. Do you have the list, George?
I do, Larry. I wanted to start by thanking you because I learned a lot tonight.
All right, George, go on.
That book again, the book that you wrote about when to draw trumps and how to use your keys and all that. What was that called?
George, why don't you tell them the name of the book you're writing instead? I think that's more interesting.
All right, my book is called George's World, the Unauthorized Autobiography.
Is it all blank pages?
No, I'm going to have you sign one of them.
George, let's hear the thank yous. Reel them out.
All right, we want to thank David Caprera, who helps organize these matches. South at this table, Hakan Burke is our technical support. We want to thank Michael and Debbie Rosenberg for administering the junior program. Diana Eva from BBO for arranging and helping us get on live on these matches. We hope it's fun for the kibitzers to be able to hear our voices and talk about these. That's Stella, that's her voice you're hearing. We hope it's very helpful for us to talk about these hands as they're being played and to be honest about what we think should or shouldn't happen.
George, tell your dog not to ask for a rough when we're in no trump.
She's telling him the rough.
All right, well, a couple of tricks went, I don't know, this was a bit sloppy here. I didn't pay too much attention to how many under tricks it was, but it looks like there was a bit of sloppiness here. All right, so the margin is 3 imps for the USBF juniors. At the other table, 3 spades by West, down 2.
By the way, Larry, we had almost 300 kibitzers tonight. We appreciate every one of you paying your $10 entry fee to watch this match. It helps a lot with Larry's expenses.
300, that's disappointing. I sent it to my newsletter of many thousands this morning, and a lot of them, though, they either don't read it, or they don't know how to get onto Bridgebase Online, or they don't know how to click, or they don't know how to find us. So to those thousands who can't hear me, I hope I haven't insulted you.
Well, maybe next time you can actually give them, step by step, like turn by turn on a map. Here's what you do. Go to Bridgebase Online, hit this, show them the screenshots, and maybe that would help them. We're happy to have anybody that'd like to be here.
I love Bridgebase Online, but it really is hard for older people who are not, computer savvy and not familiar with this kind of stuff, unless they have a teenager at home to help them, to figure it out. You can't just say, okay, go to BBO and there we are. Believe me, it's hard for them to find us. Okay, so we have 1 diamond opening with 5-4 in the minors, 4 diamonds and 5 clubs. I'm often okay with a diamond to avoid the rebid problem. If you open a club and your partner responds a heart, you have a real problem. So I'm fine with 1 diamond. Not everyone is. 1 spade overcall is normal. Negative double is normal. The raise to 2 spades is aggressive, but I'm okay with it. Now South could say 3 clubs.
Larry, I'm going to say something you won't like to hear, but I hate opening a diamond with the 5-4. I would rather open a club and rebid it. I would rather have over a heart bid a spade. I would rather do any of those other distortions beside opening 1 diamond with 4 and having 5 clubs. I hate it. And I hope I'm making myself clear. I just don't care for it.
Yes, but so you would open a club and rebid a no trump over a heart?
Either that or a spade or 2 clubs. You have 3 choices aside from a no trump. I don't like a no trump.
Yep, but they all suck.
Promise 2 hearts.
Yeah, but they're all horrible choices. So I'd rather lie about my minor suit length. So George and I disagree on this. See, when I rebid a no trump, I want my partner to think I have a double, no singleton. All right, well, let's see. They've reached 5 clubs here. This is exciting. They're off too much. They're off 2 spades and at least a club trick. So it's going to go down. So what does that mean?
Funny.
Who's going to win?
You said they're off, and then you said too much. That's funny. How did they get so high?
How did we get so high? Well, we have 24 high card points between us. 3 no trump was no good. Without a spade lead, this has a chance. It still has a chance. A singleton jack of clubs. See that singleton nine of clubs sitting over there in West's hand? If that happened to be a singleton jack of clubs, there would be a chance to make it. So
Your
Clara could
Bubby
beat the
had
queen
bait,
of
so
clubs.
she'd be yours 80. Well, now.
So it looks like the USBF juniors are going to win the match. So we congratulate them. Eddie Wold, I think you played very nicely, but I think you have the distinction of being the first professional to have lost one of the practice matches. But we still think you're one of the all-time greats. Eddie, we didn't talk much about him, but the North player, Womoko, Eddie Wold, one of the great players of all time, Hall of Famer, honorary member. He does a lot for Junior Bridge. He is. There's a lot of good things to say about Eddie, but he's 0-1 in practice matches now.
He is having a very good year, though. He was elected into the Bridge Hall of Fame, and he won the, I don't know if he was the Personality of the Year or the Something of the Year. And he's having a very good year. So we'll try and overlook the fact that he's lost the first junior match ever. So, Larry, while we have a minute,
Well, thank you, everyone.
Here,
and I think we're going to do this. Well, they've claimed.
in a month or so. Oh, they claimed. No claim here. So Eddie Wold once led in the final match of the Risinger. We were in first and they were in third, and I was doing view graph. Eddie Wold led the 10 of clubs from the Jack 10 third, and Lorenzo Loria wound up taking a finesse, playing restricted choice. Finesse went down in a cold slam that you or your grandmother would have made, Larry. And we went from first to third, and they went from third to first. And all I could do was just congratulate them on what a great play Eddie made. All right, we're going to go away now. Thank you all for being here. We really appreciate you.